We are live. Well, not live, but you know what I mean.
We're not quite dead.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to Bleeding Tree Gaming. I am Tammy, aka Autumn Witch, and I am joined by...
Hello, my name's Amy, aka Warp Fiend.
I'm Luke, aka Sir Mime.
Nice. And we're going to be looking at a couple of the releases that were announced earlier today. You can see here the Imperial Agents Codex. But before we get into that and our opinions, which you all so desperately want to hear,
We've got to get to the biggest one first, haven't we?
We've got to. I mean, if you can remember back in like 1989 when they brought out the first Tyranid Attack, and it was like some crappy plastic scouts and those weird like turkey Tyranids, and it had that sort of
the best Tyranid warriors.
Yeah,
you know,
it had that kitschy, campy sort of vibe that a lot of people like to look back on. Well, they've come up with a new Tyranid Attack, and it is absolute dog shit. I mean, look at it. Look at it. I mean,
is that all the board?
I'm noticing a distinct lack of Tyranid models there. There's some tokens.
Yep, because that's what you want to do when you're playing a Warhammer game. You want to be rolling dice or like attacking little cardboard cutouts and not high quality miniatures. I mean, look at this. It's absolutely absurd. It's like they just asked like an AI bot to come up with a mediocre game. And I mean, look at that. You've got an Ultramarine called Maximus. That is the least amount of effort that you can put into naming an Ultramarine.
The Space Wolf as well, just called Lucas.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. There's already a Space Wolf character called Lucas the Trickster, and then you've had like loads and loads of Blood Angels called Raphael, and I mean, brother, what is he related to? Pious Vaughn, another character from Blackstone Fortress. Brother Adrix, is he related? Is he the brother of Adrax? I mean, Adrax Agatone, the one of the only named Salamanders models that you can get.
He's the brother from Wish.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the Wish.com version of Space Hulk.
I feel like these kind of ones are put together solely by the marketing department to fill a certain market niche. Like it might be, okay, this one goes out to Walmarts in America or something like that. They've done them before that's specifically based in a certain market, and there's no effort put in at all. It's just something that they can sell in a different way than they sell their other stuff.
It's just like maybe just getting a name on a shelf in places like Walmart and stuff, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, there is the appeal to the diehard collector that has to have everything Warhammer based, but
you'd have to be pretty diehard to want to buy this if you're like not just a casual person who goes, oh, a board game, I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
And it's also quite a bad like way to introduce people to it. Like if this was how I got into Warhammer, I'd be like, oh, this is crap, I don't know why everyone's talking about it.
I mean, the board is about the size of a greetings card.
Yes.
Just lie those 4 Space Marines down and they're already bigger than that board.
Oh, this is appalling. I mean, would it have cost much more for them to just pop a sprue of termagants in there, the push fit ones? I mean, it's absurd. I mean, look, you got different big monsters on the cards, but no, you're not going to see that on the board. You're going to see identical looking
what price point are they even
Tokens.
launching these games at? Like, I don't, because
Well,
Yeah.
the only thing that's worth it on here are the Space Marines. You get 5 Space Marines, although apparently only 4 people can play the game. But I mean, these
Just-
models look cool.
So weird
just didn't
choices.
quite fulfilled the disappointment quota. They just had to like have one final thing in there.
Yeah.
Well, if it's in certain parts of the US, you know, they can like leave out one of the black guys.
Oh
But-
dear.
Yeah.
How
But-
hard would it have been to, like, oh god, if it had just had some new Tyranid warrior sculpts that kind of leaned on the classic look, that would have made it something
Yeah.
instantly worth
Yeah, so-
picking up.
I mean,
But-
something they've already done that is push fit that they could just pump out a load of the sprues for. I mean, they've got the molds, haven't they? They can just. That's what they tend to do with a lot of them. But no, you get you get 5 Space Marines and that's it. If this costs more than 20 quid or the equivalent of 20 quid, you're being shafted. It's as simple as that.
I think that's fair to say, yeah.
Yeah, because you can get 10 Space Marines for like 35 quid. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that has roundly had the piss taken out of it. Let's move on
Yeah.
to the more nuanced review of Imperial Agents. Now, we kind of knew that this was coming when we saw like the summer Codex release.
Yeah, there's been
was
rumours that this is the
redacted.
mystery codex for yonks.
And anything that gets redacted in GW marketing, you know, has got something to do with the Inquisition. But what we're actually getting is technically 2 codexes, because the Deathwatch specific models are now part of the Agents of the Imperium.
Yep. I mean,
That-
people have been saying that was coming as well, and I don't think it's a big surprise to many people.
Mm.
But it is going to change things for a lot of Deathwatch players.
And as someone who is a Deathwatch player, yeah. Now, excuse me, I'm coughing quite a lot. I'm recovering from heat stroke, which is why we haven't had a video from me this week. Hang on, I'm just going to pour myself a drink. If you could
Let's make some
Gosh.
light chit chat, shall we?
make some light chit chat while I lubricate my tonsils.
Well, you might notice I'm here building up some more stuff from Skaven Tide. I've almost finished all the Stormcast from that, and
Yes,
Luke, you've been making progress with the Skaven, haven't you?
we've both been pulling ourselves away from that.
I'm not pulling myself away from anything. I'm just doing it.
It's quite happily along for the ride.
Yes.
I feel like at this point, like one of us needs to put on a straw hat and start doing a little dance for Kane.
Yes. Hello, my darling. Hello, my sweetie. Hello, my ragtime gal.
I mean, this is sort of like a hobby-based stitch and bitch, isn't it?
Yep.
Instead of knitting, you're clipping off sprues. I'm just parching my throat with apple tango. I've also been vaping a lot because that helps with the whole head fogginess of the heat stroke, which is absurd. We get 2 hot days in a row and it utterly obliterates me.
Just do what I do. Just like take a shower every hour. It's
It rhymes.
yes, yeah.
I don't-
The fact that it rhymes means it's obviously like some God-given heat wave method of survival. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm too busy focusing on that now. So
All the concentration's just gone out the window. The second sprues have been picked up.
oh dear.
Okay. So, here we are, Imperial Agents. Nice image on the cover, fantastic.
Lovely.
But yeah, now with Deathwatch, Deathwatch have now become retinue units for
Yep.
which means it says here, if your army faction is Agents of the Imperium, then in the select detachment rule step, you can select one of the available detachments from this book as normal. We get an example of one of the detachments later. But here, where it says if your army faction is not Agents of the Imperium, basically it works as it does now, that you can assign a certain number of Imperial agents to any Imperium army, but you're limited on how many you can use. Now, here with the retinue units, incursion, strike force, and onslaught, that's basically 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000 points. So, if I wanted to play my Deathwatch, all of the non-Deathwatch specific units are basically covered just by another Space Marine detachment rule.
Okay.
So they're not considered part of Agents of the Imperium. So they are a basic Space Marine army with basic Space Marine loadouts. And I can, if it's under 1,000 points, I can attach one Deathwatch kill team. That's the kit that came out towards the end of 7th edition, which I'm surprised they haven't repackaged it for actual kill team yet, because they're kind of like the original kill team. But it's a 5-man kit. It doesn't say whether or not you're limited to 5 men per unit, because at the moment it's between 5 and 10.
Right.
But if I want to take more than 2 units, it has to be an over a 2,000 point game. And a lot of my units are kill team units, because you get enough weapons in the kill team box to equip like 15 proper miniatures and only 5 models in the box. So, grab a tactical squad and then you can upgrade it so you've got 15 dudes out of one Deathwatch kill team box.
Okay.
Which is kind of what I've done. So, it's kind of I'm kind of hoping that the new rules for them are incredibly awesome to justify limiting it.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, it is slightly awkward if you have a particular Deathwatch army that you built that is a mix of like actual Deathwatch kill teams and regular like Primaris Marines. But it seems to me that like in 1,000 points, if you're putting other Space Marines in, you're either going to pick like you're only going to get like 1 kill team's worth of Deathwatch in it, really, if you've got other stuff, or you're just going to build an 1,000 points Deathwatch army from this codex. Now, obviously, I don't collect them, and you do. I'm sure you're kind of annoyed by the limiting factor, but it doesn't seem too bad to me.
I'm skeptical of the limiting factor. If you can still take them in unit sizes of 10. That would be okay. If they are worthy of such an elite status as being limited to only being able to take 1 unit of them per 1,000 points of game, then that is fine. Okay, because one of the things that's worrying is that GW have done this before, where you've been able to take like 10 of a certain kit that comes in packs of 5.
Yeah.
But now with 10th, it's more like you can only take what's in the box as a single unit. Case in point, the Deathwing Knights. They used to be a 10-man unit, and I built mine as a 10-man unit, and then the new rules come out, and suddenly it's a 5-man unit. So I had to do some war gear switches. Luckily, I hadn't painted half of them, but it's just that, limiting the options in the box, and then that limiting the options in the game that I'm
Yes, yeah.
finding a little bit dubious.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I know they had that in the core rules, and then they had the big rules update. I haven't been following 40k much at all, but I did hear there was a big rules update, and I assumed they'd fix stuff like that. But if there's still this kind of thing where you can't reinforce, or you have to use like set
Also,
loadouts and stuff. That
they definitely
sucks.
seem to be bringing it and Sigmar like more in line with each other for like the you use what's in the box type thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely felt it with like my sister's stuff going into 10th edition. There was like loads of stuff that I kind of like build up like little units of 5 with, and then it's just like, oh, I can't do that anymore. I'm gonna.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they did this with Deathwing, because I have a Deathwing army, and they'll say, "Oh, Terminators are going to be big in 10th," so I made sure to grab all the Deathwing I could, because I don't want to have some of my Terminators being huge, some of them being a little bit scrawny. I like to have a consistent scale across an army. It doesn't matter what army I'm fighting against, but I just like to keep the scale consistent within the army. And so yeah, I built up my Deathwing, and all of a sudden it's a good job I magnetized them all, because the loadouts changed. It used to be that with Deathwing you could take you could swap out like the Stormbolter and Power Fist, like basic weapons, with anything that a Terminator can take. So you could replace them with Lightning Claws or Thunder Hammer and Storm Shield. You had access to the Plasma Cannon and everything. You had all of that, and also in the kit you had the option to build a Terminator Command Squad, which it was also really cool. And then they bring out the new kit, which is essentially an upgrade sprue for regular Terminators, and you've lost that ability to take assault weapons. You've lost the ability to build the characters for a command squad. Now, all of the rules there are, they're in Legends, and that's fine. And if you already have them, then that's fine. But if you want to get the real flavor of Deathwing, especially since they gave it such a big, high-profile upgrade, they've slashed the number of units you can use, and they've cut the number of models you can take per unit, and that was annoying. It wasn't like rage-inducing, because the rules went to Legends, which is fine. I've got a Spartan for that army anyway, so I'd be using Legends. But it's people getting into it and seeing the new Deathwing and going, oh yeah, that looks really cool, and then seeing the Legends options, but not being able to buy the models to make those models that were available up until a few months ago. It's
just GW being GW. Constant. Yeah, they seem to be having a lot of problems with, particularly like balancing range bloat and still being able to release the lovely new models constantly that everyone wants. And it seems to have like really come to the fore this edition, with both like both 40k and Age of Sigmar have seen some quite controversial decisions by GW.
There's been even more like things taken away as the editions drop for AOS as well. It's snuck out the back.
It's kind of sneaky that they didn't just lay the cards down on the table straight away with everything. But I mean, it was already like a long list of, oh, sorry, you can't use these now.
It's crazy. So yeah, there's a little trepidation here as to I mean, they've clearly decided, well, there's a bit of a link in the lore between Deathwatch and Imperial Agents, and the ranges.
Sell a book.
Well, they've got to fill a book before they can sell it, and
Yes.
it would be very difficult for them to justify 35 quid to get the rules for like 10 units. So they've obviously bundled them in together. Now, I quite like the idea of being able to stick like a 10-man veteran kill team veteran squad in my drop pod and deploy them alongside my my white scars. That would be that would be pretty cool. But when it comes to actually playing Deathwatch, this is where I'm a little unsure of just how limited you're going to be, because
I get that.
The whole thing with Deathwatch is that it is they're kind of like Grey Knights in that they are an elite specialist force.
Yes.
And they've kind of now they've sort of turned into just like another Space Marine chapter that you paint black and play like a normal Space Marine chapter. I liked the whole like small insertion forces and stuff. So yeah.
I really like personally just the option to, like, without any the kind of limits you would have had from allying, make a really fluffy force of kind of Deathwatch backed up with like Inquisitors, Void's Men at Arms, like Imperial Navy stuff that's in here. I really like that. But it is a certain kind of army that I realise not everyone is going to want to play with the Deathwatch. Some of them people is obviously just going to want Space Marines, Deathwatch with Space Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had their own codex for like a couple of editions now. It's like it's kind of weird now that just been like shunted into, you know, making the Agents of the Imperium thing like more now. It's I mean,
it's just one of those things with GW not getting round to increase, like, expanding the range. So just find somewhere else to put it, and it's something they've done time and time again.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I like the idea of being able to do like a floppy crusade type force, like where you can have like. I mean, let's have a look at some of the options. We'll get back to that guy in a minute. So we've got like the Ordo Xenos version. Now each of these battle forces has the they're made up of kill teams, like actual kill teams from Kill Team. Each of them has the inquisitorial retinue.
Right. Yeah.
So it has that kit. Each of them has that. Where now in Ordo Xenos you've got the people, the guys from the what are they called? The ones with the
Rogue Trader.
Rogue Trader, yeah. So they've got that, and they've got 5 Deathwatch. They've got the Corvus Black Star. I do like that model. I keep meaning to grab one. And Inquisitor, I think it's Inquisitor Draxus, maybe?
Yes, yeah.
And that is a cool model, and I like that. So
big fan.
Yeah. So I think that's a pretty cool. I mean, clearly, you know, it's going for like the whole like elite insertion force type vibe.
Yes, yeah.
And
I think that's a really cool battle force. Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's have a look at the Ordo Malleus one. I do like. Oh wait, yeah. I do really like the look of the Chimera in like inquisitorial colors.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if you could ever really take those in any of the Imperial Agents like directly before.
There is a rule at the moment called requisition or requisition orders or something, where whatever army your Inquisitor is in and your inquisitorial retinue, or you know, whatever unit that they're with, they can requisition a transport from that army. So they have, you know, if you had them with Guard, you can requisition a Chimera. If you had them with Space Marines, you could requisition a Rhino or a Land Raider, that kind of thing.
Okay. Chimera is a cool option, though.
It is, and I've been wondering why for quite some time. The Chimera has been out of stock online on, and I think it's quite clear that they're just packing them into this battle force, which is why they haven't had them in stock for a while. But with this one, you get. We'll talk about Golden Boy here later. You get the Codex Assassin. You get the Inquisitorial Retinue. Which I think you get two of actually in this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the Inquisitor retinue's from, but that's
it's a kill team.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
It's the kill team one, yes, with the servitor, and it's the same thing twice. Yeah, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, and interestingly, they've brought up the new Inquisitor here, but they've got Pious Born as well. She's back, although I don't think she's got a name anymore. But 5 Grey Knight Terminators, and these are the current models. So I'm feeling that either this is GW just trying to get rid of the old Terminator ones before new ones come out, or this is GW saying, don't hold your breath for new Grey Knights Terminators when the Codex comes out.
Yeah.
So they're in the old scale, which is fine.
It's one of those things though that, I mean, like, GW get a lot of flack for, oh, you haven't updated this army in ages, you haven't updated this army. Like, in a way, I do feel for them, because there's no way they can please everyone. There's always going to end up being like a gap of multiple years between armies getting like more updates than that.
Yeah.
But obviously, it is very frustrating that now it's been like, what, 7 years of Primaris Marines, and a lot of this stuff hasn't been touched yet. So
yeah. Okay, shall we have a look at the Ordo Hereticus one?
Go for it.
And here we are, and there we are with the Inquisitorial.
They've gotten a lot of use out of that kit.
They certainly have.
That one didn't really sell that well for Kill Team.
Yeah, no one bought the Kill Team box. So
They have a lot lying around in the warehouse. They're great models, and like, I wish I'd picked them up, but I already had like a servitor from something else. I've got like a bunch of stuff from the Rogue Trader Kill Team box set still. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really cool kit. Then you've got like the Adeptus Arbites or RBTs as.
I'll always call them Arbites.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my eye on this kill team for a while, and then you've got a regular Battle Sister squad. It's being led by Inquisitor Greyfax, and it comes with the. I say new. It's been out for like 2 editions now. The new Immolator.
See, this is good.
Also, you get the oh god, I can't remember the guy's name from Blackstone Fortress. I mean, I think he's a general, just like a general preacher now or missionary.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've got him and Greyfax, so you get like 2 characters in there, and then you get the Arbites, and you got the Doggo. I mean, there's the Doggo at the back. Now, if I wanted to really sell this box, the Doggo would have been up front.
Yes. The Cyber Mastiff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, I really like the look of this box, but I would not have sold this as a Ordo Hereticus box. I would have sold it as an Ecclesiarchy box, because that's what it seems to fit more.
I'll say,
mind you, they are kind of like 2 sides of the same coin. The Ecclesiarchy and the Ordo Hereticus. I guess. This could just as easily be. They could have just as easily called this the Ecclesiarchy box, and nothing would have to change. But yeah, that's a pretty good force.
Yeah.
Now,
the Battle Sisters, the Immolator, and the Preacher models, I'd have been really happy if that was like the Sororis Combat Patrol box or something like.
Yeah.
It's like initially when I saw that, I was just like, I don't know, I didn't register it as an Immolator in the background. The Exorcist, and I was like, haven't they just literally done like a very similar like battle force for the Sisters coming out?
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that the Hereticus one is the better of the three. Although the Xenos one is also, yeah, I think the Xenos one is also pretty good. The Malleus one, it's got the new Inquisitor, but it's the old Grey Knights, and it doubles up on the.
Oh, they've deliberately done that though, because
Yeah.
oh, you want the new model? Get
Yeah. Yeah.
So between those 3 boxes, there is 4 instances of that inquisitorial retinue kill team.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Now we've mentioned the new Inquisitor, and here he is. Well, he's not really new. He's more like it's a new model for an old character, and he looks like a massive man baby in a golden nappy.
Actually, yeah, literally, the more I see it now, all I can think of is like an old man like hoisting his waist.
Oh god! I'll tell you, when I first saw this, before I realised it was supposed to be the old one, I really like this, and I still really like this. I think the armor, they've tried to break away from Inquisitor's power armor being basically Space Marine's power armor that they'd have like no way of wiring themselves up to like Space Marine does, and they've tried something different. It is quite bottom heavy, but I think like I can kind of see the effect they're going for. Now, what to me is the main thing is they put the eagle on a separate one, and they've done this for 2 reasons. One of them is because that other Inquisitor is in a similar pose with like a dragon on his shoulder as this guy was originally. And 2 is that they want to put pets in with everything now because people love their pets.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the current model. Now, that is just gorgeous. I love this model.
It's a cool model for a resin sculpt. I don't think it's that old, is it? I think.
I think it's early 2000s.
Early 2000s. So
Came out when they did a big thing on Witch Hunters, when they folded the Sisters of Battle into like the. They basically gave the Sisters of Battle the treatment that they've now given Deathwatch. Sort of folded them into an Imperial Agents type thing. But I mean, look at the details on this, like the grim, the stoic, grim expression, and he's got the 2-headed eagle, and he's just holding a hammer, and he's got all this like filigree on his.
Yeah, and he's got boob plate.
Yep, he looks. He looks like a Stormcast Eternal.
Yes.
George Clooney Batman.
Wait, hang on. Now I'm starting to wonder if these things down here are rivets or nipples.
No, nipples.
So he's got 8 nipples.
Nipples everywhere. He's got them around his neck. He's got them on his shoulders.
That bird isn't his pet. That's his enemy.
He's just caught that.
He's going to bring that in dead into someone's kitchen.
That head there is looking down, going, "Dude, how many nipples have you got?"
The other one's just like, "I don't want to know.
I don't care.
I'm looking the other way."
Just don't look, Harold. Just don't look.
If he were to take certain hormones, he could squirt them out in sequence like a fountain in Las Vegas.
Charming.
Now we've had a bit of fun with this model. Let's see how much fun we can have with with giant man baby here.
It's very different.
I saw the little dimple on his hand then. I thought, they've kept the nipples on the arm of them.
No, he's got a big strap, which why does that strap need to be so big? That kind of increases.
It's to cover the 8 nipples.
It's nipple shaving cream.
Yeah. Like I can see the baby things people talking about. It's like there's a giant belt on him. Like it makes him look smaller.
What's the old man belt? He's pulled it all the way up. He's the Simon Cowell of the Inquisition.
Yeah.
Whilst wearing a big golden nappy. Yeah. But he hasn't.
It's not taking its chances with him anymore.
But yeah, it's the other model. It's got like a book strapped to that hip and like
Yeah.
carved inquisitorial details. You know what would make this look 10 times better? Bring back the loincloth. Because at least then we wouldn't be looking at the massive nappy. And I mean, you know what? I think a lot of people are going to do. They're going to buy Stormcast Eternals and convert them into a better version of Inquisitor Coteaz.
I can see it to be good Stormcast conversion potential.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the quality of the new Stormcast.
I just love like the look of like the cloak
Looking
on
at
his
them
shoulder.
right now.
It does look like he's like found a cloak, but it's like nowhere near the right size.
Yes, yeah.
Like, holding it in place.
So in the other one, like, I wasn't sure if he had a shaved head or was just completely bald, and now, like,
He seems to have like gotten younger, like, and regrown his hair. It almost looks
And-
like.
Young.
And he's also, I think his skin's gone a bit whiter as well on the
that's
official
obviously,
model.
like,
Just very
painting
much
choice,
like he's got a very what you looking at face on him there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I liked it before we started having this conversation. I still like it, but I am more aware of the flaws.
I do really like the bird. The bird's cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the original head. I mean, they could have just kept the original head, the sculpt for the original head, and kept it on there, and there would have been at least some continuity. This doesn't look anywhere near the same character.
Oh dear. Yeah, it's certainly a different person.
He looks like a Votan, but with like
Oh yeah, oh god. I just said that like
Oh god.
basically his legs actually end at the knee joints as well.
Yes.
Oh no, I can't see it now.
Oh god.
yeah.
I didn't mean to give this guy such a hard time, to be fair.
No.
Oh dear. Poor thing.
I have the deepest sympathy for the people that sculpted it because they're not the ones that signed off on it. You know, they were working to a brief, and then somebody said, "Oh, that looks really good," even though it looks nothing like the original dude.
I reckon they can make this work. There's just like some law that he is actually a League of Votan member that's actually a member of the.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like he
just has to have like these extended legs just to make it look like it's an ordinary human going around.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at him, he's on a larger base. If we go, where is he? Here. If you look at the scale of him compared to the Grey Knight Terminators, he's pretty huge.
He is massive.
Way bigger than an ordinary human would be.
Yeah. I mean, if they wanted the extra chunkiness, they could have given him Terminator armor. I think that would have been a cool character upgrade because he's going to get a new rule set anyway.
I've got to say that image there, I think it's a more flattering angle of him.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I think the actual picture that they've shown on the community page is maybe just a really unflattering angle of him. That's like
compared to the other ones, like when you see him like next to other people, he looks like a regular man in giant armor, which is a look. I mean, that's fair enough. By himself, he looks like a baby wearing normal sized armor.
Oh. You know, I think the thumbnail needs to say we rag on the new Coteaz for 15 minutes.
I haven't lasted.
Oh, poor guy.
Such mustache-mounted rocket launchers.
Yeah. He's going to be joining the Caradron.
Oh, I really hope the person that designed this doesn't hear it.
Oh,
but
God.
then,
I gotta say,
I get the feeling it was designed by committee, and that's the problem.
I don't know. That's not generally how they do things at GW. I mean, it'll be Like usually someone will do like a concept sketch. It used to be John Blanche, but obviously he's retired now. And then like one sculptor will work on it with feedback from other people. But sometimes these things just don't quite work out.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem here, I don't think it's the sculpt. I think it's the original design that's the problem. I mean, look at his knees. His knees are larger than his head. It's just the proportions are just, they've gone like super heroic. That's why his head's so small in comparison.
Yeah, but like I said, he's not like a augmented space marine. He's a normal person wearing armor that makes himself look that size.
Yeah, it makes you kind of wonder where his real knees are. But yeah, I mean,
I think Amy said it earlier though. Like next to other models, just by here, it's kind of like there's no landmark to draw context from into.
Yeah.
And also his eagle has a larger base than he does, so I'm assuming the eagle. I'm assuming the eagle is on a 40 mil base, and
it's weird.
He's
like,
on a 32.
Why would that be on a bigger base? Have they messed up the scale there? Like there's only one little point that's touching the base. Why does it need to be so big?
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, maybe they just need like a big footprint to fly away from his many nipples.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
I think we have slandered them enough.
Yes. Let us relent.
Yeah.
I mean, I like.
We don't mean to offend mortally all the GW sculptors who are very talented people, but
just the one who signed off on that.
Oh.
See, now what I'm liking though is there's this old Inquisitor here. Are we gonna see a return?
Toll right there.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Are we gonna see a return of the old Inquisitor sculpts, whether as a made to order or bringing them back into the current range?
I mean, I hope they do some more of these, like particularly Witch Hunter style ones. Like, I know obviously Grey Fax has got that kind of look, but you can also like the Witch Hunter stuff they've done for Age of Sigmar is just like almost exactly the same. You wouldn't have to do too many changes to convert them.
Series of Cynical Toll model is basically just that, but like a really nice updated model. It's like...
yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool. They'd probably come back as made to order, but to be able to get some of the old Inquisitors again would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they come back and that they might stick around a bit. We got some rules here. The Spirit leading unit models in that unit have a 6-up invulnerable save. That's a bit pointless when it comes to Sisters of Battle, since they already have a 6-up invulnerable save. But for the others, I suppose that's pretty good. Power of the Rosette. Each time you target this model's unit with a stratagem roll, 1d6. Roll 1d6 on a 3-up, and you gain a command point. That's basically the old adept of the Codex adept of the Codex from the Ultramarines, so but twice as good. So because
he's won a rosette from the village fair for growing a giant parsnip.
Yeah, and it suddenly makes him twice as tactical as Rabute Gilliman.
Oh god.
The power of the rosette.
Prepare to feel the power of attorney.
That's what he's got in his pistol. It's like a giant holy turnip.
Yes.
Okay, now we're taking the piss out of nice looking models.
Oh dear.
Oh, we're creating law. It's law.
Law crafting.
Yes, Coteaz has got younger and lost all his nipples.
Just the cost of the aging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The thumbnail's now going to have to say we rag on the new Coteaz for 20 minutes.
Oh dear, dear.
I think we need to leave it there.
Yes, yeah. Well, it's been fun, but sometimes you just need to vent at these things, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and if you love the model, all power to you.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, let's call it there. I think we've broken Luke.
I hope all the people at home have had as much fun listening to this as
Oh,
we
no.
have had making it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the spread of laugh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're winding up. We're winding up. We're winding up the design team. No, we're winding up. Oh, anyway, opinions on the new codex. Looks interesting. Got a few worries about
Quibbles.
certain things, but hopefully it'll all be fine, and we get many, many long years of laughing at the new model with its big golden nappy.
Yeah.
I'm Autumn Witch.
I'm Warp Fiend. Took me a while.
I don't know who I am anymore. I'm Simone.
And we'll catch you next time on Bleeding Tree Gaming.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes.
Oh, Ko-fi and Patreon. No, we don't do Patreon yet, do we? We'll do
Not
that.
Ko-fi
Not yet.
element affiliation.
Yeah, we have an element
yeah.
affiliation and Discord.
Discord.
Links down
Join
below.
our Discord.
Links
Join
down
the
below.
community.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.